The night before breast surgery is something a woman never forgets. It is not the pain that fills her mind, not the sterile smell of the hospital, but the silence of her own thoughts. That silence can be louder than any noise. It's the hour when fear creeps in, not because of the surgery itself, but because of everything it represents. You lie in bed trying to rest, but the pillow feels too soft, the room too quiet, and every minute stretches endlessly. You tell yourself to be calm, to be strong, but your heart beats against the sheets like it knows something your mind can't say out loud. I've sat beside many women who lived through that same night, and the feeling is always the same. The world keeps spinning, yet inside, time seems frozen. I remember one woman in particular. She told me that on the night before her surgery, she wasn't afraid of pain. She was afraid of waking up different. She was afraid that when she looked in the mirror, the reflection staring back wouldn't feel like her. That fear, quiet but heavy, is something few people ever understand unless they've been there. And what I've learned over decades is that the hardest part of this journey doesn't begin in the hospital. It begins in the quiet dark, when the mind refuses to rest because it doesn't know what tomorrow will bring. Sleep becomes a stranger during those nights. You close your eyes, but your body stays alert, tense, unable to let go. Every sound feels amplified. The body is tired, but the spirit is restless. And yet, that very thing you struggle with, sleep, is one of the most powerful allies your body has in recovery. I've seen how sleep can rebuild strength, calm inflammation, balance hormones, and restore peace. But I've also seen what happens when fear and discomfort steal that rest away. Healing slows. The immune system weakens. Fatigue takes over. What most women are never told is that recovery starts long before the wound closes. It starts with rest, with stillness, with allowing the body to enter that deep state where real repair happens. During deep sleep, your body releases special hormones that rebuild tissues, fight infection, and regulate inflammation. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and your cells begin their quiet work. But when that rest is interrupted by pain, anxiety, or even the wrong sleeping position, the entire process struggles. And yes, there's something important that almost no one talks about. Many women unknowingly sleep in positions that make their recovery harder without realizing it. After surgery, it's natural to move as little as possible to protect the area that hurts. But sometimes, in that effort to stay safe, we create pressure on the very place that needs freedom to heal. Rolling toward the operated side, sleeping half-turned because it feels familiar, or using too many pillows that push the shoulders forward, all these small habits can cause swelling, fluid buildup, and slow healing. The body tries to repair, but it's working against tension it doesn't need. One patient once told me that for days after her mastectomy, she felt as if something heavy was pressing on her chest every morning. She assumed it was normal, but when I asked her how she slept, she said she stayed curled on her side, the same way she always had. Once she learned to rest on her back, with soft support under her arms and shoulders, she started waking up lighter. The pressure faded, the swelling eased, and within a week she felt energy she thought she'd lost for good. That's how powerful sleep position can be. It's not just about comfort. It's about giving your body the right environment to heal. When you sleep flat on your back, with gentle support around you, your body can relax without stress on the chest or incision. A pillow under the knees helps release pressure from the lower back, and another under each arm helps the shoulders stay open. Some women find that sleeping slightly reclined, like in a reading chair, makes it easier to breathe and reduces swelling. What matters most is that nothing presses on the side where the surgery was done until your doctor says it's safe. But even when women learn this, another obstacle often appears: fear. Many tell me they are scared to move in their sleep, afraid of tearing something or disturbing the scar. Some stay awake for hours, exhausted, yet unable to relax. That fear is real, and it doesn't mean weakness. It's a natural response from a body that has gone through trauma and a heart that's still trying to trust again. Healing isn't just physical, it's emotional. The body can only rest when it feels safe. That's why part of recovery is learning to trust your body again. The first few nights may be hard. You'll shift slightly and feel a pull in your chest, and your instinct will be to freeze. But as the days go by, your body begins to teach you that it knows how to protect itself. Pain becomes a signal, not an enemy. Movement becomes part of healing, not a threat. And the moment you finally sleep for a few hours without fear, something inside you changes. It's not just the wound that starts to heal, it's your confidence. I've met women who cried tears of relief the first time they slept through the night after surgery. They said it wasn't about rest alone. It was about realizing their body was stronger than they thought. That moment, when fear fades and sleep returns, is often when real healing begins. You might be wondering why something as simple as sleep affects recovery so deeply. It's because your body is designed to heal most effectively when you're at rest. During the day, your energy goes to movement, digestion, and alertness. But at night, every cell in your body turns its focus inward. Wounds close faster, tissues rebuild, and inflammation decreases. That's also when your immune system becomes more active, protecting you from infection and helping balance your hormones. When you miss that deep rest, your body stays in a state of stress, releasing cortisol, the stress hormone, which slows healing and weakens your defenses. It's easy to underestimate this because sleep seems passive, like something that just happens. But in truth, it's one of the most active processes your body goes through. Healing while awake is like swimming against the current. Healing while deeply asleep is like floating downstream, letting your body do what it knows best. If you felt scared to fall asleep after surgery, afraid of rolling over, of pulling your scar, or of waking up in pain, I want you to know you're not alone. It's something many women experience, and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You can even share this feeling right now. Tell me in the comments, I feel that too. Your words might comfort another woman who is lying awake tonight, afraid to rest. Sometimes, the most powerful healing begins when we realize someone else feels exactly what we feel. And if this explanation helps you breathe a little easier, consider leaving a like. It shows YouTube that this message matters, and it helps more women find guidance when they need it most. What truly matters tonight is not perfection, but peace. Don't aim for perfect sleep. Aim for trust. Trust that your body is rebuilding, even if you wake up in the middle of the night. Trust that rest will come, little by little, as fear loosens its grip. And when you lie down, take a slow, deep breath. Place your pillows gently, not tightly. Feel the weight of your body sink into the bed. Remind yourself that you are safe. Your body has already survived the hardest part. Now it's learning to restore itself. Every night you manage to rest, even for a few hours, you are giving your body the strength it needs for tomorrow. Healing isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about small steps, patient moments, and the quiet courage to trust your body again. Sleep is not just recovery. It's your body's way of saying, I'm still here, I'm still healing, and I'm learning to feel whole again. There is something magical that happens inside the body when we finally fall into deep sleep. Most people think of sleep as just a pause, a quiet moment between days. But for the human body, sleep is an entire factory of healing working silently behind the scenes. When you drift into deep rest, your brain sends a message to every system inside you. It is safe now. You can begin to repair. The heartbeat slows, the breathing deepens, and the cells begin their invisible work. Wounds close faster, swelling starts to fade, and the body produces hormones that protect and rebuild. This is when the immune system becomes most active, releasing the small soldiers of healing that clean and restore what was damaged. Without this phase, the body remains stuck in survival mode, unable to rebuild fully. After breast surgery, that process becomes even more essential. The tissues are inflamed, the body is trying to adjust to new balance, and the immune system is fighting to prevent infection while guiding the repair of every tiny vessel and nerve. During the day, movement, emotions, and stress take up most of your energy. But at night, all that energy can finally focus on healing. When sleep is deep and calm, your body rebuilds itself from within. When it is shallow or interrupted, Your body keeps producing stress hormones that slow recovery. That's why many women notice that pain feels stronger after several nights of poor sleep. The body hasn't had the chance to restore its natural balance. But there's something few people ever explain clearly. The position you sleep in changes how blood, oxygen, and fluids move through your body. After breast surgery, this is critical. Sleeping on the high, operated side can put pressure on delicate tissues and restrict lymphatic flow. That's the system that drains excess fluid and helps prevent swelling. When that drainage is slowed, fluid accumulates around the chest or under the arm, leading to puffiness and sometimes inflammation. It might start as a light tightness in the morning, but over time it can delay the healing process. That's why sleeping on your back, with careful support, often gives the body its best chance to heal efficiently. A pillow beneath your knees keeps your back aligned, while a soft cushion under each arm supports the shoulders and prevents them from rolling forward. This open position allows oxygen to circulate freely, and it gives your incision room to breathe. Some women find that slightly elevating their upper body, using a recliner or a wedge pillow, reduces swelling and eases breathing. Others prefer to lie on the side opposite the surgery, with a supportive pillow under the operated arm, giving comfort without compression. There is no single rule, but the goal is always the same: protect the healing area and help the body rest without strain. I once met a woman named Ellen who couldn't sleep on her back no matter how hard she tried. She had always been a side sleeper, and every night she found herself drifting toward her operated side out of habit. The result was swelling and soreness that never seemed to fade. When we talked, I suggested she build what I like to call her healing nest, a circle of soft pillows that gently kept her body from turning. She laughed at first, but the next week she returned with tears of relief. She said she had finally slept through the night, surrounded by her nest, and for the first time, she woke up without pain. It wasn't just the pillows that helped her. It was the peace of knowing she was safe. That's the secret most people miss. Your body can only rest deeply when it feels protected. Fear makes muscles tighten. Worry shortens breathing. And when your body stays tense, sleep never reaches that healing depth it needs. It's not a sign of weakness, it's biology. The nervous system needs to feel safe before it can allow you to drift off completely. That's why a calm environment, dim light, and gentle breathing before bed make such a difference. When you tell your body it's safe, your body listens. The relationship between sleep and immunity is like a conversation that happens every night inside you. When you sleep deeply, the immune system releases special proteins called cytokines that fight inflammation and infection. These are the protectors of your healing tissues. But when sleep is interrupted or too short, the body doesn't produce enough of them. It becomes harder to fight small infections, harder to reduce swelling, harder to maintain energy. This is why rest isn't a luxury, it's a part of treatment. I've often told my patients that medication and surgery are only half the story. The other half is how gently you treat your body afterward, how you eat, how you move, how you rest. Sleep sits at the center of all those things. When sleep improves, everything else follows. Pain tolerance increases, mood becomes lighter, and the body responds better to every form of care. It's the most natural medicine you can give yourself, yet the one most often overlooked. I know that many women feel frustrated when they can't sleep after surgery. They blame themselves, thinking they're not trying hard enough. But it's not your fault. Your body is adjusting to pain, to limited movement, to a new sense of balance. Sometimes even the medication schedule can interfere with your sleep. That's why I often recommend preparing for rest the same way you would prepare for recovery during the day, with patience and care. Arrange your pillows before you lie down. Keep a small bottle of water nearby so you don't have to get up too often. Dim the lights an hour earlier. And most importantly, remind yourself that rest is part of healing, not laziness. I remember another woman who told me she couldn't sleep because she was afraid her arm would swell or her scar would pull. Every time she closed her eyes, she imagined something going wrong. I sat with her and asked her to breathe deeply, to place one hand over her heart, and to tell her body, "You're safe now." That night, she slept for 4 straight hours. The Most rest she had had since surgery. When she woke up, she told me something I'll never forget. She said, "I didn't just sleep. I finally trusted my body again." That is what recovery truly means. I want to ask you something from the heart. Have you been afraid to sleep after your surgery? Have you stayed awake worrying you might move the wrong way or wake up in pain? If so, type in the comments, "I want to sleep without fear." Your words might reach another woman who's lying awake right now, feeling the same fear. Sometimes that shared truth can bring more comfort than any medicine. If this conversation is helping you understand your body better, consider liking this video. It helps this message reach others who are searching for real guidance during long nights of recovery. Each night when you lie down, think of sleep not as something you have to chase, but as something you allow. Healing doesn't rush. It flows slowly, gently, like water finding its path. If your body wakes up in the night, don't be angry with it. It's simply checking that you're safe. Take a slow breath, readjust your pillows, and let yourself drift again. With each night that passes, you'll notice small signs. The swelling will lessen, the pain will ease, the fear will fade a little more. And one morning, you'll wake up and realize you slept without noticing how. That will be the sign that your body is not just healing, it's trusting itself again. Sleep is not weakness. It's the moment your body whispers, "I'm rebuilding, I'm finding peace, and I'm learning to live again." For many women, the hardest part of recovery isn't the physical pain. It's learning to trust their bodies again. After surgery, every movement feels uncertain. You try to lift your arm slightly and it tightens. You take a deep breath and the scar pulls. Even lying down feels like a test. It's as if your own body has become unfamiliar, a space you no longer know how to live in. I've seen women look at their reflection and whisper, "I don't know how to be in this body anymore." That confusion is real, and it can make rest feel almost impossible. Because how can you relax in a body you no longer trust? Sleep, in that sense, is not just physical recovery, it's emotional surrender. To fall asleep after everything you've been through means believing, even for a few hours, that your body knows what it's doing. It means letting go of control, which can be terrifying after so much uncertainty. Many women tell me they wake up in the middle of the night afraid they've moved wrong or damaged something. But healing doesn't happen in stillness alone. It happens in movement, in gentle breathing, in the quiet rhythm of rest. The body was designed to heal itself. It just needs time, safety, and patience. I once sat with a patient who said she couldn't sleep because she was constantly afraid of hurting herself. She said every time she closed her eyes, she saw the operating room again. I told her something I've learned over decades. Your body remembers trauma, but it also remembers peace. The same way it can hold fear, it can learn to hold calm. That night, I asked her to place her hand over her heart before closing her eyes and simply say to herself, "I'm safe now." She practiced that every night, and slowly, the fear lost its grip. 2 weeks later, she told me she could finally sleep through the night. She said it wasn't just the scar. That was healing. It was her trust in herself. That's why sleep after surgery is more than a physical need. It's a declaration of faith. Faith in the body that carried you here. Faith in the strength that's still inside you, even when you feel fragile. When you give yourself permission to rest, you're telling your body, "I trust you to heal me." That's what transforms recovery from something mechanical into something deeply human. There's something else that often surprises people. Good sleep can actually reduce pain. When your body rests, it releases endorphins, natural chemicals that calm discomfort and elevate your mood. They're the same chemicals that make you feel warmth after a hug or peace after a deep breath. But when you stay tense, worried, or restless, your body produces stress hormones like cortisol, which heighten sensitivity and slow recovery. That's why the nights you manage to sleep well are often the mornings you wake up lighter, calmer, more capable of facing the day. I've seen women transform not because of new treatments, but because they finally found a way to rest without guilt. One woman told me that for months, she blamed herself for being tired. She thought she needed to push harder, move faster, be stronger. But when she allowed herself to rest, everything started to improve. Her pain eased, her appetite returned, her energy grew. Rest didn't make her weak. It made her whole again. If you've been struggling to sleep or blaming yourself for feeling exhausted, I want you to stop and breathe. You're not failing. You're healing. And healing takes energy. Think of it as building a house after a storm. You can't rush it. You have to let the foundation settle first. Sometimes women ask me how to stop being afraid of sleep. The truth is, you can't force it. You invite it. You create the right environment. And then you allow it to come to you. That means dimming the lights an hour before bed, turning off bright screens, keeping your room cool and quiet. Use soft, clean sheets that feel comfortable against your skin. Wear loose clothing that doesn't press on your chest. And when you lie down, make sure your pillows feel like support, not restraint. These little details send signals of safety to your nervous system. They tell your body it's okay to let go. I once met a woman who had trouble sleeping even after her wounds had healed. She said she felt fine physically, but every time she lay down, her heart raced. She realized she was afraid not of pain, but of what her mind might do in the dark. She had spent months being strong for everyone around her, her children, her husband, her friends, and the quiet of the night finally brought her own emotions to the surface. We talked about it, and she began writing for 10 minutes before bed, just to release the thoughts trapped inside her. It became a ritual. Within weeks, she began sleeping again. Not because the fear vanished, but because she stopped carrying it alone. That's the beauty of healing. It's not just about closing a wound. It's about learning new ways to care for yourself. Sometimes it's a pillow that makes the difference. Sometimes it's a quiet breath. Sometimes it's the simple act of saying, "I've done enough for today." And you, if you're listening to this, I want to ask you something very simple. What has been your hardest moment at night since your surgery? The pain, the fear, the memories? Write it in the comments, even just one sentence. You can write, "I still wake up afraid," or "I'm trying to trust my body again," because when you share your truth, you make another woman somewhere in the world feel less alone. Healing becomes lighter when we carry it together. If this message brings you a sense of calm or helps you understand your recovery a little better, consider liking the video. It's not just a gesture. It helps other women who are searching for these same answers in the middle of the night. There's a moment, somewhere in every woman's recovery, when she realizes that rest is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's the body's way of saying, "Let me handle this part. You've carried enough." Every time you close your eyes and breathe deeply, you're reminding your body that it's safe to heal. So tonight, when you lie down, don't focus on what might hurt. Focus on what feels safe. Feel the warmth of the blanket, the quiet, rhythm of your breath. Think of the thousands of women around the world who are also learning to rest again, just like you. You're not behind. You're not doing it wrong. You're in the middle of something sacred, the slow, patient return of peace. And one day soon, without even realizing when it happened, you'll wake up rested, stretch your arm, and smile at how natural it feels. That's when you'll know you've crossed from surviving to truly living again. Usually a few weeks into recovery, when exhaustion turns into frustration, you've followed every instruction, taken every medication, done everything right, and still, your body feels tired, heavy, not quite yours yet. Many women tell me they reach a point where they begin to wonder if they'll ever feel normal again. And that's when I remind them, healing is not a straight road. It's a path with curves, pauses, and quiet victories you don't always notice at first. One of the biggest mistakes I see is treating sleep as a luxury instead of part of treatment. Good sleep isn't something you earn after the pain goes away. It's what helps the pain go away. It's what allows your body to rebuild strength, regulate hormones, and repair every small vessel and tissue working behind the scenes. That's why I tell every woman who comes to me, sleeping well after surgery is not optional. It's medicine. If you struggle to sleep comfortably, start by adjusting your environment. Before you adjust yourself, the body listens to the room. Keep it cool and quiet. Choose sheets that feel soft, not tight, against the skin. Avoid heavy blankets that trap heat and make you restless. Before bed, Dim the lights and avoid screens that keep your brain alert. Sometimes, the smallest change in light or temperature can make the difference between a restless night and real rest. And don't underestimate the power of the right pillow. A small, supportive cushion under your arm on the operated side helps relieve tension from the shoulder and chest. A pillow beneath your knees eases pressure on your back. If lying flat feels uncomfortable, use a wedge or recliner to keep your chest slightly elevated. Some women even create what I call a cocoon, pillows surrounding them gently to keep them from rolling during the night. It's not about staying still. It's about feeling secure enough to let go. I remember one woman, her name was Maria, who had tried everything to sleep better. She had spent weeks adjusting her medications, changing mattresses, even drinking warm tea before bed. Nothing helped. One afternoon, she told me she hated going to bed because it reminded her of the surgery. So we changed one small thing. We made her bedtime routine about peace instead of pain. She played soft instrumental music, sprayed a lavender scent she liked, and repeated a quiet sentence before lying down. I am healing, and my body knows what to do. Within a week, she told me she slept without fear for the first time. It wasn't a miracle. It was her learning to tell her body it was safe again. It's incredible how much the mind influences the body. When you go to bed tense, expecting pain, your muscles contract, your breathing shortens, and your brain stays alert, ready to protect you. But when you go to bed calmly, expecting rest, your whole system shifts. Your heart rate slows, your immune system activates, and your body moves into healing mode. That's why bedtime rituals, small, gentle routines, are so powerful. They teach your body that it's time to rest, not to fight. I've often said that sleep is the bridge between fear and faith. During the day, you fight, you plan, you hold yourself together. But at night, you let go and trust that your body can continue the work without your control. And that trust, night after night, becomes strength. If you found a small routine that helps you sleep, maybe a song, a scent, or a breathing practice, share it in the comments. Right, this helps me rest. You might give another woman the idea that brings her peace tonight. Healing becomes easier when it's shared. If this message is comforting your heart or helping you feel less alone, consider liking this video. It helps this message reach more women who need to hear that rest is not weakness, and recovery is not a race. There's something else many women forget. Comfort matters. Avoid wearing tight clothing to bed, especially anything that presses on your chest or underarms. Choose light fabrics that let your skin breathe. If your incision area feels sensitive, place a small, soft cloth between your skin and your nightwear to reduce friction. Keep your bedroom air fresh and not too warm. A cooler temperature helps your body stay calm and supports deeper sleep. Sometimes, what keeps women awake isn't pain, but guilt. Guilt for being tired. Guilt for resting when others are working. Guilt for not bouncing back fast enough. Please let that go. Resting is not giving up. It's doing exactly what your body needs to recover. Every hour you spend resting is an investment in your future strength. Healing doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be patient. One of the most beautiful moments in this process is when a woman finally says, "I'm not afraid to rest anymore." Because at that point, she's no longer fighting her body. She's listening to it. And when you listen, your body responds. The swelling eases, the pain fades faster, the nights grow calmer. You begin to notice that your body isn't your enemy. It's your partner. It's been trying to protect you all along. So tonight, when you lie down, don't think of sleep as something fragile you might break. Think of it as a gift waiting for you. A quiet reminder that even in the darkness, healing continues. You don't have to control it. You just have to allow it. Take one slow breath and tell yourself, "I'm safe. I'm healing. I'm learning to rest again." The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Soon, sleep will return not as something you fight for, but as something your body welcomes. Because sleeping well isn't just about posture or position, it's about trust. And trust takes time. But with each night that passes, that trust grows stronger. When you wake up tomorrow, even if it's after a restless night, remind yourself, "I'm still healing." And that's enough. Because it is. Every moment of rest, every breath you take without fear, is your body rebuilding your future one cell at a time. There comes a moment in every recovery when silence starts to feel different. In the beginning, silence was filled with fear, the hum of worry, the sound of uncertainty. But as time goes on, that same silence begins to feel like peace. You start to notice small signs that your body is finding its rhythm again. The swelling is less in the morning. The stiffness softens. The mirror no longer feels like an enemy, but like an old friend returning after a long trip. And one night, you lie down and realize you are no longer afraid to close your eyes. That's when you know you are healing not just on the outside, but inside too. I've seen it happen countless times. A woman who once cried every night from fear suddenly sleeps deeply and wakes with calm she can't explain. She says, "I don't know what changed." And I tell her, "You did. You stopped fighting your body and started trusting it again." That's the turning point every survivor deserves to reach. Because recovery is not about returning to who you were before. It's about discovering a stronger version of yourself, one that understands rest not as weakness but as wisdom. Sleep becomes a reflection of that trust. When you fall asleep without fear, you are saying to your body, "I believe in you. I believe that you can rebuild, that you can protect me, that you can carry me through this new chapter." That faith is what allows the healing to go deeper. Many people ask me, how do I know when I'm truly recovering? I always answer, when peace starts to feel familiar again. When your nights stop being battles and start being moments of quiet acceptance. When you stop counting the hours of rest and start feeling grateful for the few that come naturally. When you stop measuring progress only by scars and start feeling it in your breath, your patience, your softness toward yourself. The body has an incredible memory. It remembers pain, yes, but it also remembers safety, laughter, warmth, and love. Every gentle thing you do for yourself helps rewrite that memory. When you rest, when you breathe slowly, when you speak kindly to your reflection, you're teaching your body to feel safe again. And a safe body heals faster. I once knew a woman who told me that the hardest part of recovery wasn't losing her breast. It was learning to rest, without guilt. She said that after years of being strong for everyone else, lying still made her feel weak. But with time, she realized that stillness wasn't weakness. It was courage. It was her way of saying, "I've done enough for today. I can trust my body to take care of the rest." That moment, that gentle surrender, was when she finally began to heal fully. So tonight, when you lie down, I want you to remember this. You have already survived what once terrified you. Your body has carried you through surgery, pain, and uncertainty. It deserves your kindness now. You don't need to fight every night to prove your strength. You've already proven it. Now it's time to let peace take its place. If you ever feel that fear creeping back in, the fear of turning the wrong way, of feeling the scar pull, of waking up in pain, just breathe. Place your hand over your heart and remind yourself, my body is healing, my heart is strong, and I am safe. You don't need to rush. You're healing. You only need to keep believing in it. And if you found comfort in these words, if this message helped you feel understood or less alone, consider leaving a comment that says, "I'm learning to trust my body again." Because your words might be the strength another woman needs to hear tonight. They remind us all that healing isn't something we do alone. It's something we do together, one small act of courage at a time. If this video touched you, if it gave you even a moment of calm or clarity, I invite you to subscribe. Here, you will never walk this journey alone. Every week, we share gentle guidance, real stories, and simple truths to help you feel safe in your own body again. Join this community that believes in you, that sees your strength, and that walks beside you with care and truth. And as you finish listening, I want you to take one slow breath. Feel the air move through your chest, the rise and fall that proves life is still flowing. Inside you, that breath is your body's quiet promise that it's still working for you, still fighting for your healing, still finding its way back to balance. Sleep is not just rest. It's an act of faith. Every time you close your eyes, you're saying, I trust the process. I trust my body. I trust that I'm on my way. And when morning comes, you'll open your eyes not just to a new day, but to a new strength within you. Softer, deeper, wiser. Because recovery doesn't end when the scars fade. It begins when you finally feel safe enough to rest. So tonight, let peace be your medicine. Let sleep be your healing. And let trust be the light that guides you forward. You've come so far. You are stronger than you think. And the best part is, your body knows exactly what to do next.